Does it work now?
Yes, I hear you now.
All right, thank you. Thank you. All right, so then we're through roll call and up to the approval of the minutes of the March 8th, 2021 meeting. We do have a motion to approve and a second. Is there any discussion on that motion to approve the meeting minutes? No discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Are there any opposed? None opposed? Motion carries. Takes us then to new business. New business item A, review the public record planning documents, plan commission resolution adopting amendment to project plan and resolution passed by the village board approving the amendment. Is Mr. Costin or anybody going to be going through that for us?
Mr. Costin is online and could walk through the changes from our last meeting.
Okay. Phil, I'll turn the meeting over to you.
Wonderful. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Phil Costin with Eller. It's good to be back with you, and hopefully you can hear me fine in the council or in the board chambers. What I wanted to do is just give a real quick recap for the JRB members that may not have attended or been part of a couple of the public meetings that have been held. And then talk a little bit about one significant change that's been made to the project plan since we introduced it to you at your meeting on March 8th. If you recall, March 8th, we had the initial joint review board. We went through the project plan at that point. We held a public hearing at Plan Commission that evening. Plan Commission, after the public hearing, took this matter up. There was significant discussion about a number of issues, or items, I should say, not necessarily pertaining to this project plan, but kind of TIF in general. At the end of the day, Plan Commission approved the project plan to move it forward to the village board. That meeting took place March 15th. Again, significant discussion about the use of tax increment districts in this project in general. One of the things that came out of the village board discussion was that we added a project, and then we beefed up some language about another project. So in the project plan, which I know is in the packet, you'll see that on page number 3, which is the executive summary of the project plan, we have spelled out the change that really occurred under estimated total project costs expenditures. In the second paragraph, the second from last sentence, you'll see where it says an additional project, recreational trail along Golden Dale Creek for $700,000 is also being added in 2023. That came out of discussion at the village board level, and the village board wanted to proceed with the Golden Dale Creek recreational trail, which is located within this tax increment district, and would provide access to not just this area that's going to be developed, but also to the overall TID 8 area as well. It's probably considered like a multimodal trail, enabling better ease of access along that recreational trail. For now, that's been identified as a 2023 project. Still has to be planned out. There's a number of issues that have to be dealt with in regards to that Golden Dale Creek recreational trail, including ultimately it'll need to be approved by the village board if they want to proceed with that. The impact of that is that, as you recall, we shared with you that this district had a relatively quick anticipated closeout. So what we identified originally was before the amendment that it would take about 14 of the allowable 20 years for the tax increment district to close out. Without this change, adding this project, and move to 11 years. With it, we're down now 12 years because we're adding roughly $700,000 in costs related to that project. So that's the one significant change that is made to the project plan. The other is kind of more minor in detail, but we did beef up some language in relation to work that could be done, water and sewer work along Holy Hill Road. Holy Hill Road already has project costs from TID 8, added into the TID 8 project plan for not only the Holy Hill Road improvement, but also water and sewer between Freistadt and Goldendale Roads and Holy Hill Road. Holy Hill Road and I-41, I mean. And again, we added additional language to allow for some costs coming from tax increment district number 7 for those costs as well. So you'll see on page 17 of the project plan, under projects outside tax increment district, we've identified that some of these costs could be picked up as well as water and sewer and road improvements are made along those roadways. So that's been beefed up and added to the project plan. Again, that was at the request of the village board to add additional language to make sure that that was incorporated. Those are the two major changes. The last item I'll point out in the project plan is that we do have an opinion letter from the village attorney, who is also on the call. And that opinion letter, as a reminder, and I know many of you have been through this process often, is that the village attorney is being asked to review the project plan to make sure that all the requirements per the statute are incorporated into the project plan amendment. So we have attached his opinion letter as well as part of the final document here. So that's a summary of the changes that have been made to the project plan since we last presented it to you. Two areas that I want to just touch on real quick, just because I know we had talked about this with some detail at both Plan Commission and Village Board. There is an existing development agreement with JW Speaker, which was TID 7 was originally created for. And JW Speaker's development agreement is still intact, and the provisions for potential shortfall payments are intact. This doesn't circumvent that, so that remains in place. TID 7 would really just be another, this amendment allow for a little more security within TID 7 if we would ever see a situation where, and it's certainly not expected that JW Speaker would potentially not be able to make shortfall payments. This amendment will help in that case. Again, that's not expected. In fact, they're still planning on doing an expansion on their property as well. So that's one area that there was significant discussion about. And then the second is that there was some comment from both public in regards to a parcel on page number 9. There's a parcel identified as parcel 9 that is relatively close or kitty corner from residential. And there was concern that that area would potentially become industrial. There's really no plan in doing so at all. But rather that parcel was how we connected TID 7 to this new area that's being identified for industrial development. But there's really no plan at this point for that parcel to be built on as an industrial site. So that was one of the items that came out of the public hearing from some of the public that spoke, I think, primarily from that subdivision. So those are the areas I wanted to touch on. Again, the amendment otherwise has not changed except for the areas that I have mentioned as part of my update.
Bill, does anyone have any questions? Mr. Sedgwick?
Just, can you clarify one more time the years, the number of years it'll take to pay back the TIF? I guess I didn't quite follow. Is it basically the changes extended the payback by 1 year? Is that what I heard?
Yeah. So if you have the project plan in front of you, there's on page 4, it says expected termination of district. So this is an allowed 20-year life Uh, Prior to the amendment, we showed that it would take 14 years to close out. Because of the scope of the development being proposed versus cost, that will shift from 14 years to 12 years. So we expect this district to close out as early as 12 years instead of 14 years. What I had shown the JRB members before we added that recreational trail was 11 years. So the net impact of that recreational trail being added increased it from what was shown to you before 11 years to 12. The amendment still shortens it up by 2 years, though.
Any other questions in regards to the review of any of the planning documents, plan commission resolution, or the resolution passed by the village board? No other questions? Then we can go to new business item B, which is consideration and possible action on resolution approving tax incremental district number 7 amendment. Motion be in order. Okay, motion made by Mr. Creepel. Need a second?
I'll second.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion on that motion to approve? No discussion? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? None opposed? Motion carries. That then takes us out of all items listed under new business. So the next item on the agenda would be schedule the next meeting. When do we need to go out to for the next meeting?
December.
Mhm.
Would that be appropriate? In December would be the next joint review board meeting.
The next planned meeting would be in December or early January for the annual report. If there are any other changes that come forward, we would schedule an ad hoc meeting at that time.
Okay. So first full week of December is the 6th. The next one would be the 13th. I don't think we want to go much further than you're into the holidays for the 20th. So does anyone have any problems with either the 6th or the 7th?
Sounds good to me.
Okay, either one? We could go to the 6th before, oh, don't we usually have public safety? So maybe it'd be better if we went to the 7th. The 7th at 6 p.m.? Does that work?
Yep.
Okay, very good. Then we'll schedule it for December 7th at 6 p.m. later this year. Anyone else have anything else they'd like to bring up? If not, I apologize for being late and keeping you here a little bit longer than needed. I got caught in there was a car fire on West 94 that blocked the 2 of the left lanes. Of course, I picked one of the 2 ways to come home and I picked the wrong one. So sorry for that. That's right. She wasn't there to tell me. Other than that, I appreciate everybody on this joint review board and going through this process once again. I think in a very positive way, we've impacted TIF 7, not only for the possible development and future development that's being proposed, but also it helps support the amendment and helps to close earlier so that it can become part of the tax rolls sooner for all the taxing districts. So thank you all for your participation and for your input into this board. If there's nothing else, we can then be adjourned. Thank you all. Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you.
Nice to see you again.
Bye.
Thank you.